Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and today I am doing one of my favorite types of interviews, an author interview. Today we have with us Jim Sorebo, speaker, author, and positivity warrior, fellow insurance professional, and author of Positivity Warrior Strength Through Sorrow: How a Positive Outlook Can Heal, Inspire, and Change Your Life. So Jim, thank you so much for fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am just fantastic, Tony. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My absolute pleasure. I love interviewing authors that come from our industry. And for the listeners, so Jim shows up for the call today, and I got so envious of that beautiful coat he's wearing that I had to go get mine out of the out of the closet. Uh, so Jim, um, we met, if I am not mistaken, sometime in 2024 at a conference. I'm trying to remember which conference that was. Indie or InsurTech
In,
New York or
InsurTech New York. Yes, sir.
InsurTech New York. So InsurTech New York Spring, which is next week, literally. Uh, all right, fantastic. Uh, we always give the guest a chance to give the elevator pitch, which in the case of an author, it's like, tell us about the book and how it came to be.
Well, again, thank you. My book, once again, Positivity Warriors, Strength Through Sorrow, How a Positive Outlook Can Heal, Inspire, and Change Your Life. The first part is kind of telling my story, which I'll get into in a second, about how I got in the insurance business, family trials and tribulations, my journey there, and then also talking about the need for positivity. And I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, my story, I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota, and my life changed forever when I was 12. My father became diagnosed with a very rare genetic and terminal brain disease called Huntington's. I was 12. He passed away when I was 18, and he was 56 years old. So my formative years were by myself. I have two sisters, 8 and 9 years older than myself. They were away at college, one at Stanford, the other University of Minnesota. So I was trying to figure out life on my own. And I worked very hard going through school. I was an athlete, photographer on the high school yearbook. I did all that kind of stuff, but I like to say I didn't know what I didn't know about life and maturity, all those kinds of things. And so I ended up staying close at home after my father died because I didn't want to leave my mother when I was going to college. So I stayed there. I went into business and marketing. Um, I graduated, worked full time at a local Walgreens drugstore because we needed the money and for me to pay for college. But then after all this, my mother uh, pulled me aside and said, Jim, I want you to buy a life insurance policy because my father was a mailman. We didn't have a lot of money at all, but she had seen what a small life insurance policy had done for her, paying off the home mortgage, paid for her to go to vocational school, to go to work at the local hospital. And so I went to a professor of mine who was both a mentor and also sold insurance on the side. And I went out to his house and he told me about all this and I bought it. And that led me to get involved in the insurance industry. So I went to work for Minnesota Mutual, now called Securian. They moved me to Michigan in their regional sales operation, one of 26 offices, myself and a regional sales manager, Tony. So I was, once again, trying to figure things out. The first 2.5 years, I really struggled. Like I say, I didn't know what I didn't know.
And this was selling life
It
insurance.
was working in
Okay.
the institutional marketplace. Our big product back then was mortgage life insurance.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I started to figure things out from a sales perspective. In the third year, I was sales rep of the year nationally out of 26 offices and hundreds of salespeople. Uh, Accelerated another couple of years, and I became manager of that regional office. I took it from the fourth smallest out of 26 to the fourth largest in 3 years. I sold the largest mortgage insurance platform that we had at that point in time to a company called GMAC Mortgage. And I was figuring things out. I was figuring out life as a salesperson and the success that came with it. Got some bad news from my mother. She was diagnosed with dementia. I got her into an assisted living center. She lived there for 4 years before passing. One of my sisters, uh, when she was in her early 40s, she too was diagnosed with Huntington's, and she died in a nursing home at age 47. She had a life insurance policy that helped pay for her three sons' education as best possible, but left the family in somewhat disarray, quite candidly. And my other sister, a few years after my mother was diagnosed, I get a call from her Monday morning, Tony, and she said, Jim, I've had headaches the last 3 days. I never get headaches. And I've got a brain aneurysm. What? And she said, yeah, I'm going in for surgery on Friday. And this was like 20 years ago. So, the health situation, I'm a big proponent of preventative health. We got to catch this before it happens, right? Anyway, surgery saved her life, but I like to say the doctor didn't do a good job. She came out, couldn't walk, talk, nor feed herself, was disabled for 10 years, and died at age 60. So I had all those trials and tribulations motivated me again from a planning standpoint in our business. I mean, I bought a long-term care policy for my wife and I when I was 43 years old, Tony. The average age of people buying long-term care
Late
is 50,
50s. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, 57, 58, right? So I did the planning so that, well in advance so that I tell my two daughters, find me a nice home if I need the care because we can afford it. But the planning aspect and the building trust at that point in time was really, really important to me. And that's one of the things that I took forward as I started a brokerage company. After I moved out to the East Coast, went to work for another insurance company. Then I started a brokerage company back in the early 1990s. We grew it to the point where we were selling in over 200 banks and broker dealers, over 6,000 agents around the country, life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, all that stuff. Did that for 25 years. Ended up selling my company to a larger conglomerate. I was concerned about where technology was going, the cost of technology, and marketplace changing dramatically. Well, I thought, geez, here I did this and I got ahead of all this, these changes, socked away a bunch of money for retirement, all this kind of good stuff. And 8 months later, I'm diagnosed with cancer. Never saw that coming. No cancer in the family. And I had throat cancer right on top of my voice box. So I make a joke. Friends and family have been trying to get me to shut up for years, Tony. And I said, well, I'm sorry, that's not happening. So I made it through 7 weeks chemo and radiation. I'm now 5 years cancer free.
Fantastic.
But that was part of my continued journey. And I'm blessed to be here. And I think that just gives me such great perspective on, my book and being able to keep that positive mental attitude. Because when I went in for the doctor's visit when I was diagnosed, I'm a spiritual guy, and I was compelled once the doctor told me, I think we need to go to a specialist. I went to a specialist and she got me in there in 2 days. That doesn't happen.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I asked the doctor who I really connected with, all right, what do I have to do to beat this? And he said, Jim, there's two things. First thing, you've got to believe you can beat this. You've got to have that positive mental attitude. And I said, Doc, I've been blessed with that. What else? And they said, you need to be able to believe in something bigger than yourselves, whether it's spiritually, family. And I said, all right, I got both boxes checked. I said, is there anything else? And he said, yeah, Jim, it's going to be one of these situations that swallowing is going to be like swallowing razor blades and eating. You're going to lose all your sense of taste. Food is going to taste like garbage. And it's going to be like swallowing razor blades. And you're going to probably lose between 20 and 50 pounds. And we'll have to put a feeding tube in. What? No, wait, that's not happening, Tony. I said, I'll do whatever I have to eat so I'm not losing 50 pounds. That's just not in the cards for me. And at my worst, it took me a half an hour to eat half an English muffin. So I fought my way through that. At my end of my journey, I'd lost a total of 3 pounds. So blessed to be here. And I don't know about you, but I've learned so much more through adversity as a teacher than, good times. And I've been blessed with a lot of success in business and all that stuff, but I learned through my cancer journey a lot of things about what I wanted in life and also what I didn't want. So, and I talk about this in the book, I've got 5 non-negotiable items that I use now in my life. Writing this book was a motivation. Doing more public speaking to tell the story and help other people, because the stress, the anxiety, the depression we're seeing in this country is like we've never seen before. And people need to believe in this stuff. So my 5 non-negotiables, I've got to be doing what I love. Where our passions are, because life is too short again. Secondly, I want to do things with people I'm passionate about and I love and we're like-minded. You and I hit it off on a number of different things. Magic was one of those we'll talk about briefly as well. But, doing what I love with the people that I love. And where I can make a difference. Where if I can make it and help people with my book, my speaking, my connections in life, that's a huge thing where I can make a difference. 4, yeah, I'll be paid. All that is fine, but money's not the major motivator there. But I don't want to do it for free either at this juncture. And then 5, where I still have time for all my other passions, my family. We've got our first grandson who's going to be 2, who
Congratulations.
I love with all my heart. And my daughter's due with our second in first week in August. A great round of golf and, enjoying that, and a great glass of wine or a bottle of wine with friends and family. So all this has taught me so much. And I talk in the book about the things about positivity that are really important. I mean, how about increasing the average life expectancy by 7.5 years by being an optimist versus a pessimist? That's huge. Who doesn't want that?
That's fantastic. Yeah.
And it's medically proven. The number one killer in this country is still heart problems, heart disease. You can lower the stress due to heart problems by 77% by having a positive mental attitude. Who doesn't want that again?
Mm-hmm.
These kinds of things, lessening the stress, making a more happy and joyful life is what all this is about. And I talk about that in the book. And I give a positivity workout that you can do every day to help stress the gratitude, the thankfulness, and how blessed we really are. But oftentimes we forget. Yeah, I guess I am living indoors. I guess I do have a good income. I guess it's not so bad again. So that positivity workout we talk about in the book, and I give steps to take in doing so. And then I give seven ways to really help enhance that positivity in your life. And I won't go through all seven, but one of the ones that I think is so important again is surrounding yourself with like-minded people and mentors. Because it's once again medically proven you are most like the 5 to 10 people you spend most of your time with.
Absolutely.
So if they're all, oh, woe is me, Tony, life is so bad,
Mm-hmm.
I made $10,000 less this year than I did last year. Oh, woe is me. Yeah, I went from 150,000, 140,000. Come on. You know, no, I don't want to surround myself with those kind of people. So we talk about that in the book as well. And once again, giving you a track to run on to do some of these things.
Fantastic. Uh, Looking at the Amazon page, the book came out in February. We are recording late March, so the book came out maybe 6 weeks ago. 44 ratings and a 5-star review. That is a lot. I interview a lot of authors, and there's a lot of people that are very good at writing uh, and have produced really cool books. Uh, I don't think that I've had anybody who this early had this many positive reviews and is keeping the perfect 5-star. But more than anything, like the number of reviews. So that tells me it's really touching people. So
Thank you.
fantastic job.
I've been really blessed there. I also worked with a marketing company. I'd never written a book. I didn't know what I didn't know again about, writing a book, marketing a book. They gave me a great plan. So actually the book sales, quote unquote, officially launched yesterday on the 25th. So we've been selling the books. We've been getting people to generate reviews. I've been marketing, saying, here it is, order it on Amazon. We just launched Kindle yesterday. I had 18 sales the first day on Kindle.
Fantastic. For the
Oh,
listeners, as we are recording, uh, it is on the Kindle Unlimited. So basically, like that makes it ridiculously cheap. If you have the subscription, it's free. If you don't, it's 99 cents. So incredible. You're giving it away on Kindle. At least I don't know how long that'll last, but yes. So like right now, and it's available Kindle paperback and hardcover, and I've got to say it's very well priced. Right now, the paperback is 9.99. The hardcover is 19.99. So this is definitely priced to make a difference in people's lives.
exactly. Well said. And that was a whole goal here. And that's what my marketing company helped advise me on. And the Audible book version will also be out here in the next 10 days.
Fantastic.
I
Did you read it yourself?
I did. I
Oh,
did the
that's
narration
those are my
myself.
favorite.
Well, you know me reasonably well. I'm pretty emotional, as
I,
you
I, I
know,
love
and
I'm a big audiobook guy, which is funny because I run a podcast, but I'm not a podcast listener, not in large numbers. What I listen to, I'm also not a music listener. So what if I have headphones on, I'm listening to audiobooks. And my favorites are author read. So fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's amazing again. The narration was once again a learning experience in a sound studio, doing all that and the attention to detail. Oh, you misspoke on this word or that word. And we went through 8 to 10 pages of little nuances I had to go back and redo.
It
So
audiobooks are hard. there is no audiobook version of my book about millennials and insurance. Uh, it's not that we didn't record it. We recorded it. It wasn't me. A friend recorded it. We could never get it released. Audible just never played along. The quality was just never right. So it is hard. So fantastic job with actually getting that to the finish line. Uh, so we've talked a lot about the book. We haven't talked about the speaking. So like my case, I did a lot of speaking before writing my book. You're the same way. So tell us about the speaking.
Yeah, I've been training and doing all that in financial services for many years, talking about products and how to be a better salesperson and connecting emotionally with your clients was always a big topic for me. So I decided I wanted to take that to a new level. So I spent 8 months and paid for a process called heroic public speaking. It was done virtually and in person. It was a huge commitment to do that, to go from a talking head standing on a stage to being a performer and being memorable and being something that people want to come and listen to and remember about you. So I've done that. I've done many keynotes right now, from Vegas to insurance company sales conferences. We have fun there. Um, I give away certain things. One of the things I talk about is, you see the Spartan helmet there. And that's been a symbol for me since the movie 300 came out, and inspiration. The 300 Spartans fighting against the hundreds of thousands of invading Persians. And I love that. I spoke at NALBA. I was a past chairman of the board for NALBA, and I talked about that there. So we do that at the keynotes, and I give one of those away.
Awesome.
So it's one of those things you typically wouldn't buy one for yourself, but we get such
But it's an
excitement.
awesome thing to have. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, a symbol. And the same thing also that I do is I don't know if you've ever heard of the term a challenge
I
coin.
love that.
Yeah, so
And it's such an
positivity
awesome
warrior.
design.
Yeah, thank you. And then here's my mantra: never give up, never ever quit, and
That's
a blue cancer ribbon there. So yeah, that kind of stuff I do to be memorable and talk about positivity in today's environment in the keynotes. So
I
I love
I
it.
I'm a huge positivity nerd. And a big fan of a lot of positive psychology. Sean Archer, his first book was life changing for me. Uh, I'm very lucky in that uh, I inherited from my dad uh, a base happiness level that is just very high. Same thing with my brother. We all three of us, regardless of what happened yesterday, we wake up in the morning with a smile on our face. We can't help it, and we're very lucky because not only is that a happy life, but yes, medically speaking, this is really good for you. I don't eat very well. I don't smoke either. That's and I don't drink much. But I don't eat very well. I expect to live significantly longer than I would otherwise because I don't stress, because I'm a very joyful human, right? But not
Yeah.
everybody has that. Some people are born with their base genetically defined level of happiness fairly low. And there's also people who have like I've also been very lucky in that I have not dealt with a lot of adversity in my life. Uh, Many people have, right? So like what I really love about your story is you've been through a lot, and you end up being a speaker and writer on positivity, which I think is a very valuable thing. uh and I would have never expected that you got there through a lot of sorrow. Uh, I mean, everything you went through makes you a very motivational speaker. But I would not expect a book on positivity. So it's really awesome that you took it in this direction. And one thing I don't think that you hit on, or maybe I missed, were you always deeply into positivity, or it was a response to that series of huge losses?
All that stuff happened so early for me in my life when I was, like I said, was 12 years old when my father was diagnosed. I do remember very, very well and still carry some of that forward to this day, and I'll give you the examples here. But I wanted to be a magician. I wanted to be a ventriloquist. I had and still have it, a Charlie McCarthy dummy for ventriloquism. I wanted to do those things. I wanted to be a performer when I was in fourth grade. And one of my teachers started seeing what I was going through at home and knew about my situation. He had me when I was in sixth grade, he had me be the lead in the school play. I'd never done anything like that, but he believed in me. And that really helped reinforce that dreaming and the believing to achieve mentality that's so important. And so whether it's dreaming then or this is something I've got on my desk, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis.
This is yes, absolutely. Um, and there's a meme out there that talks about how Colonel Sanders founded KFC in like his 70s, and like has a list of several other like super successful entrepreneurs who did not discover their calling until they were over 50. uh so yes, I 1,000% I agree with that. Recently I've been listening to the Dave Ramsey show, and it's a weird thing. I just enjoy listening to it on YouTube. And one of the Dave Ramsey personalities talks about how he grew up in a poor household, and his mom had been raised in a I need to be careful how I say this, but in a toxic religion, where she was not allowed to pursue education beyond like ninth grade. Okay, and so she gets married super young, has kids, and is a stay at home mom, and financially they're never very well off. And in her, I want to say 50s, yeah, I think 50s, she decides to actually finish school and ends up not only finishing high school, finishing college, getting a PhD, and
Oh,
ends up being a tenured professor at Oxford. Retired at like 76 years old, and she only got to be a professor for, I don't know, 15 years. Like, it's a ridiculously incredible story of starting late, and still getting to the very top of your chosen profession that you fell in love with. Uh, so yes, I completely, and in today's day and age, with the technology we have, like age is less and less, not only the medical technology, but people start startups that with
yeah.
very little investment, on the back of incredible technology. um so yes, that's a great message. I love that too. um so
That's
Jim,
awesome.
Thank you so much for the conversation today. This has been really, really awesome. For the listeners, I haven't read it yet, but I will do the audiobook because I'm an audiobook person. And I have travel coming up for conference season. Highly recommend checking it out. I mean, with well, knowing you and with 44 perfect 5-star ratings on Amazon, uh clearly the this is a good read, and it is priced ridiculously low. Like you're giving the book away uh when it comes to Kindle Unlimited, literally giving it away, or you can buy it for 99 cents. But yeah, so listeners, if you need a boost of positivity in your life, and we all do, uh this is a no-brainer. Go check it out today. Uh, Link in the show notes. The link in the show notes is a sponsored link to Amazon. Insurance Nerds gets a few cents if you use that link. If you you can just search for the name on Amazon if you prefer to not use a sponsor link. Uh, so yeah, Jim, thank you so much for your time today.
I just want to do one last introduction
Absolutely,
before we leave. I didn't get a chance to do that when we
no
met
problem.
previously. That this is the alter ego that came out of me with all my journey with cancer and the book writing and everything. And it was one of those things growing up again because it was, look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Positivity Man.
Oh my
Positivity
God.
Man came out of Jim Sorebo, financial services executive, to lead, teach, inspire for positive change in their lives.
I love that so much. I don't know if you know this because we only met last year. So the version of Tony that you met is long-haired top hat Tony, which is the current version of the brand. But for a long time, my brand was Superman shirt, red jacket. Uh, in fact, that's the picture on the back of my millennials book. So I triple love that. Also, for a long time, I wanted to get a Superman shirt with a T instead of the S, and I never did. And I love that you actually went out of your way to get that with a P. Absolutely love that. Uh, that totally makes my day right there by itself. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. When I was recording my Audible book, I did this for the sound studio guy, and he introduced me to a group called website called Cameo. I don't know if you've ever heard of Cameo.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can get like an actor to
Yes.
okay.
And I'm thinking, might be kind of cool if I could introduce them to Positivity Man on their birthday when they're going through a tough time in their life, struggling with cancer. Here's Positivity Man delivering a message to you. I think that'd be pretty cool. So keep an eye out for that.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate this.
My pleasure.
Hopefully we will continue to make a difference in people's lives together. So thank you so much.
Thank you.